Warm welcome to a special edition of 360 Sports on Dash TV. I am your host, Durell Batinga. In today's edition of the program, we shall be diving into basketball. Our theme of today's program is Hoops and Dreams. Coach Frank Nsai are shaping the future of Cameroonian basketball, grooming the future basketball stars in the country. We shall be talking to him and understanding his basketball journey and his training with the younger generation through the Rise Up Performance Training Academy. Now let's take a look at some quick highlights of his training and shooting session, and we'll be coming back to meet the man. Welcome back to 360 Sports. As earlier mentioned, we're joined here by Coach Moukouri Nsai Frank Oskar, a FIBA-recognized basketball coach and the founder of Rise Up Performance Training. Hello and welcome to the program, sir.
Hi, thank you, Durell. I'm pleased to have you here, and I'm open up to whatever discussion or topics you want to know about my work and my career or my aspirations. So, yeah, we can go.
Definitely. Well, clearly it's been a long journey into basketball, from being a player to now a recognized coach. And when did you first fall in love with basketball, and how did your family members receive the news at the time?
Oh, I mean, it comes from a very long story. I've been always around basketball. My elder brother, my elder cousin, William and Crispo, they've always been playing basketball. And when we used to be kids, we used to be rolling socks around and playing with hangers. So I got the chance to play really basketball when I got into St. Joseph's College Sasa in Boyer, where I was supposed to be in a sports club, and unfortunately I wasn't good at football. So
it had to be basketball.
Yeah, I had to do basketball because I was somehow familiar with the game, and that's how I started. And when I was 14, and yeah, I had an amazing career, and my dad, my family was always been supportive of me playing basketball.
While going to school, of course.
Yeah, I mean, you do both studies and education. It's very important. It's a balance of all those things that make you a grown person, that makes you mature, that makes you somebody who's social, that makes you know more values. Because if you go to the classrooms, if you go to school and without doing an extracurricular activity, you really don't get it, you know. So doing sports is always important.
Always important, definitely. And clearly, your love for basketball started at a very young age, at 14, where you still had to go to school and had to play basketball. Now, walk us through your spell as a basketball player. What was some of your most memorable experiences throughout that time?
I was lucky enough to have the support from my parents to play basketball, so I really went through a long career in terms of playing in Cameroon. My early years in Phoenix Adola with Coach Leo Api. And then after I went to UDLA, before then they called the basket with Coach Zedon Alain, most renowned coach in Cameroon today. And then I went to UDLA where I had my most memorable experiences as a basketball player. I played 4 years with UDLA with Coach Ivan Goug. And then afterwards I went to Condor where I won the Cameroon National Championships. The Cameroon Cup, Coupe du Cameroon.
That was in which year?
That was 2019.
Wow.
That was my senior year. And my junior year also with Phoenix Adola with Coach Leo, I was vice champion of Cameroon in the national championship for the same year, champion du Cameroon et vice-champion du Cameroon. So I had a lot of experiences. It was very good. And also when I played in Nigeria as well, because I played in Nigeria for 2 years with the Lagos Islanders.
Interesting.
It was a real challenging part in my career. And yeah, it made me the player I've been, for the younger generations, with people I play with. So it was a good time.
Now, to spell out Nigeria, how will you compare playing basketball in Nigeria?
Basketball in Africa is very physical. Nigeria just happens to be also physical, so it's quite the same. But there you have more emulations around basketball. So the culture is quite intense and dense. You have more girls who play basketball, you have more boys who play basketball. Even though over here in Cameroon, the numbers are getting higher and higher with time. So, yeah.
Well, with the success you had in 2019, many will be wondering why the transition from a basketball player to a basketball coach?
It's a very good question. I mean, with the success I had in 2019, it was quite tough year. It was a quite very tough experience for me because for the little experience, for the little story, I was living in Douala and I was playing for a club that was based in Yaoundé. So I was living from Douala to
Yaoundé. Some transport costs.
Yeah, I was living from Douala to Yaoundé for 7 months.
Right.
Yeah, and I was playing games during the weekends, coming back to Douala, handling my dad's business, going to school, doing all of that. And yeah, it just happened to be, being a coach is not something I've always wanted to be. When I was a player, I always aspired to be like, a pro player. And over time, your realities give you different directions. And while I was playing, I was really sharing out my passion to the kids around the block. I was working with the kids at Douala Firebirds. That's where I started working as a basketball coach, and I worked there for 5 years. And while doing that, I was so in love with what I was doing. I was so happy to see the kids happy, me giving them what I know, giving them my skills, giving them my experiences. And me being a very passionate person and very insightful about my aspiration, I was really like, if I thought I have to do something in basketball, and which is not playing, I can be a coach. And there's a blessing in every misdirection. So I didn't take that as a misstep, but I took that as an opportunity to build something better. So that's how it started.
Now let's talk about the baby which you gave birth to, which is Rise Up Performance Training, that is dedicated to grooming the next generation of Cameroon basketball stars. What was the main motivation to come up with an initiative like that?
I mean, having been through a lot of basketball programs, seeing how they ran, I just thought of something very different. Something that's going to be very in depth with the details, something that's very in depth with the skills development of the kids, because I realized the kids' skills all around the places weren't as they were supposed to be, and that's due to the fact that the quality of the training, the quality of the programs weren't that followed, and I had to make sure if I thought I had to bring something on the table, it has to be something that's going to make a lot of difference. So that's how everything started. It started with one kid, and over time, and due to the massive work with my team, Coach Stanley, Coach Guillain, Coach Ivan, Junior was the one doing all the beautiful content on social media. We trying to make the world a better place, trying to make kids not just basketball players, but real people in the society. Because at the end of the day, you don't just play basketball. You end up being, like you being a journalist, others being accountants, others being IT, others being graphic designers. So it's a lot. So you're just trying to bring a hub of people, which we can obviously, have a better tomorrow. I mean, if at all the aim and the expectations is for us to go higher in terms of skills development, in terms of basketball skills, but if at all they don't become basketball players, I mean, they can be bright for people in whatever field they find themselves.
Exactly, and that's a very laudable initiative. Like Coach Moukouri Nsai Frank Oskar mentioned earlier, he has a cream of other coaches who assist in the grooming of these young talents in the backdrop of the Rise Up Performance Training erupts. Now, you must be wondering what it takes as a requirement to get into Rise Up Performance Training. We'll be talking about that with Coach Moukouri just after this transition break. Welcome back to 360 Sport. Now, I see a lot of young ones in the various training sessions that we've been having. Now, is there a particular criterion for the selection of these young stars?
First and measures, first and foremostly, we make sure the kids are able to do sports.
Right.
Because doing sports is very important. And foremostly, they have to go to school, which is very important. And now there's no eligibility test we do. Like, so far as a parent or a kid come up to us, because we're on all socials, on Instagram, Twitter, for just to name that, on TikTok as well.
Right.
So when people come across our content and see the beautiful work we do, they are obviously very interested and obviously want to enroll in the programs. So we are open to everybody, and we make sure everybody has his chance to get something new, to be better, to work on his skills, to be around us,
right,
and make what we're supposed to do brightly.
Now, briefly, how would you describe your coaching style with regards to motivating and communicating with these young ones? It's always a challenge to get them to do some of the things that you're used to doing.
Yeah, like I tell my team, like I tell all the coaches, I always tell them, they will never give you what they can do.
Right.
So you have to make them have a very positive experience. That's the most important thing. If they have fun, if they learn something, that's the most important. Now, over time, they're obviously going to improve their skills, because we make sure they learn. We make sure we give the right skills. We make sure we communicate the right way.
Right.
We make sure we talk to them. It's not just about being on the court, shooting, ball handling, passing, and playing around, but we make sure we talk to them, because obviously not all the kids have the same improvement rates. There are some kids, when they come, they learn quick, and there are some others, they take time.
Definitely.
So you just have to know how to communicate. And how do you communicate? You have to teach them a lot of life skill, psychology, like stay positive, be open, be receptive. There's the 5 hands, like the 5 fingers on the hands, they are never the same.
Exactly.
So some people are going to be up, some people are going to be down. So you just have to take your time. You just have to believe in yourself, keep working, and keep showing up, and the rest is going to come up later.
Now, how do you balance training and the academics? Because most of these children need to go to school. How is training sessions like on a weekly
Very
basis?
interesting question. We work with parents a lot.
Right.
We definitely talk a lot with the parents, and we make sure, because we have a discipline code, we make sure the kids have the right notes, the right grades at school. And if at all they don't do well in school and they do well in basketball, we definitely stop basketball. Yes. Yes.
But the child might argue that, okay, I'm doing well in basketball.
We make sure they learn both ways. Like basketball, education-wise, it should be the same level.
That's actually, education is very important in the process.
It's very important. Like me, for example, I went to school, I have a master's degree in finance, so banking and finance. So I'm an example of me being a student, having my degrees and all. And there as well, I'm not just jumping to the field of basketball because I love basketball and I didn't like school. No, I went to school. So I teach the kids that school is very important, and the parents as well. So we make sure that the kids follow up their education and their extracurricular activity, which is basketball in this case, very rightly. Now
with the young ones, there's always usually conflict. I'm taller than you, you're shorter than me, I have to throw the ball first. And these things happen during... That's a normal thing in the ecosystem.
Right. Not everybody is going to be better. There are some people who don't talk, there are some people who are rowdy, there are some people who are very provocative.
Exactly.
We manage all of that because we make sure they learn that it's not right to abuse. For example, it's not right to laugh at someone, because you was laughing at someone when you started, you weren't that good, So
you have to learn as well.
Yeah, you need to learn as well. So instead, when those who are better than the others, we teach them how to be leaders, how to be teachers to their classmates, to their mates as well, because we want everybody to be successful. We want everybody to improve. We want everybody to have good results. We want everybody to have the right shooting form. We want everybody to have the right handles. We want everybody to have the right passing techniques. So we make sure it's not just we, the coaches, we make sure even the kids transfer the knowledge we give them to their peers as well.
It's a whole process of learning and transferring to.
Yeah, definitely. It's a vocational job. You need to love it, because being out there is not easy. And if at all you don't love what you do, you can keep up. You can do these things. You can jump into the details. You can just leave something to pass through you without you correcting it. You need to love it. You need to be devoted. You need to be passionate, disciplined, and you need to have a very bright future or vision regarding to where you're going. So first, you have that vision. You have that on-site, view on what you're doing. I mean, everything is going to be aligned in such a way that you're going to be experiencing progress without you even experiencing the fact that you're experiencing progress.
Definitely, all that falls into place. And because of time, but Rise on Performance training has been doing so well. Started off with a couple kids, like you mentioned, now the number keeps growing. What is the long-term objective and goal of our Rise Up Performance training for the near future?
Oh, I mean,
talk about short term.
We can talk short terms. Like, this is Christmas period. We are
Definitely
organizing a Christmas party for the kids on Sunday the 23rd. We are also organizing basketball tournaments.
Right.
You have to know that. So on the 27th and the 28th of December, we are organizing the first in Noah Xmas Fest. That's the 4th edition of a basketball tournament that regroups players from all around the city. It's the 4th edition. It will be an amazing time.
And how many teams will be involved?
We obviously have 7 to 8 teams. Maybe we'll have 9 this year. We don't know. We're still looking up to the registrations. And yeah, we just here. We're just trying to take one foot at a time, move one step at a time, and make sure everything goes on well. And now for the long term projections, which you asked, long-term projections. The way we work, we want to be an example. We want to be a reference.
Right.
The way, that's what I tell to my team. We have to be a reference. To be a reference in the basketball field is very demanding in terms of work, in terms of devotion, in terms of researching. And the more you invest yourself in what you do, the more you keep up to your objectives, the more you have opportunities to get to greater heights. So I'm sure Rod, in some years to come, is going to be renowned in Central Africa. Why not in Africa?
And why not partner with Dash TV?
Exactly.
Exactly. Stuff like that.
So you're already invited for the tournament. So make sure you come around with your team.
You take the rendezvous.
And your cameras and your mics, and be ready to get some amazing content.
Now, a word of advice to basketball enthusiasts, the young ones who still have doubt. They have the passion, but they are doubting if they should get into the field or not, looking at the realities, and they are scared. What would you tell them?
Keep working, believe in yourself. People are going to talk at the end of the day. People will always talk, whether you're doing good or whether you're not doing good. People are going to talk. Go to school for your education. Try to do the maximum you can do. And like I said, have faith in yourself, believe in yourself, be disciplined. And obviously, if you succeed, or whether you don't succeed, be humble, because it's very important, those values.
Be humble. That is what I take home from the entire advice to the youngsters. Humble, it's very, very paramount. Now, a couple of parents might be watching and they're interested in the Rise Up Performance Training initiative, and they have children who love basketball, who watch basketball. How can they get to Coach Moukouri Nsai Frank Oskar and to join their Rise Up Performance Training Academy? How can they get in touch with you, Coach?
On social, we're visible on Instagram, TikTok. Everything is there. We have your contents, we have your contacts. You can email.
And what do they need to tap together? Email,
contact. There's an email address. You can write us an email. You can contact us directly through a phone call, on WhatsApp. You can see the work is there.
Maybe some numbers, Coach.
Everything is on the page.
Everything is on the page.
Yeah, performance training.
And Instagram, equally Coach Oskar Nsai on Instagram as well.
Yeah, exactly.
All of their works are there displayed for the young basketball stars. But I bet the young stars watching this have had a lot of fun, and they will be poised to pursue that basketball dream. And why not get enrolled in the Rise Up Performance Training Initiative with the Christmas tournaments that are coming up?
Yeah, for sure. Thank you.
Well, it's been a pleasure to have you on this edition of 360 Sports on Dash TV, Coach Moukouri Nsai.
My pleasure.
Frank Oskar.
My pleasure. Anytime, I will come back.
And all the best of luck to Rise Up Performance
Thank you
Training.
very much. We appreciate it on behalf of my team as well.
Thank you very much. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that was what we put together for you in today's edition of 360 Sports. Until the next edition, remember, Dash TV is a 360-degree sports channel.